Well, Julian Assange and his WikiLeaks organization may be grabbing all the headlines right now, but you know, they're not the only ones out there who are interested in shedding a little sunlight into some of the more dark corners of the world. This week on The Link, we thought we'd take a look at who's breaking secrets all online. Well, hello and welcome back. Doug Bernard with you again. Great to have you here. Well, no doubt you've heard of WikiLeaks and its somewhat mercurial founder, Julian Assange. In a nutshell, WikiLeaks is an organization that has made it its goal to break secrecy. They take documents that are leaked to it by any number of sources around the world, they confirm them, and they make them public. This has obviously not endeared them to any number of governments around the world, and others, corporations as well. But you know, they're not the only ones that are doing this out there. There's a number of kind of different facets to this whole secrecy game out there. So we thought we'd take a little exploration online as to who's doing what. Well, our first stop is, of course, going to be the WikiLeaks website. Now, I will say before we even go there that it is very difficult these days to access. That's because there's simply so many people trying to get at their hands on so many documents that they have. Of course, they've not only just released the 250,000 plus U.S. diplomatic cables, but there's what they call the Iraq war logs, the war logs from Afghanistan. These are all documents, some of which were classified, some of which were secret, that they have all published, much to the consternation of the U.S. government. And as I say, I'm just clicking on one thing here. It just takes forever, really, to pull up some of these documents at sites. That'll subside in a little bit. If, in the meantime, you want to see some of what these documents are on the WikiLeaks website, a good idea is to look at some of their media partners. Now, those include the New York Times, Der Spiegel magazine in Germany, the Guardian newspaper in England. All of these organizations have been working with WikiLeaks, and you can find a lot of the resources there online as well. Okay, well, that's fine for what Wiki's up to. But what if you're interested in perhaps some other takes on what's going on, and perhaps one that is a little bit more focused on secrecy, but maybe not breaking so many secrets? Well, our next stop this week is a website that's run by the Federation of American Scientists, and it's called simply Secrecy News. It's a blog, but calling it a blog really kind of, I think, demeans it. It's a terrifically professional operation. Stephen Aftergood runs this. His focus is mostly secrecy. As an organization, the FAS has made it its mission to sort of break or try and provide as much sunlight as possible. So now occasionally they will publish secret documents or classified documents, but really what you'll also find here is sort of discussions related to secrecy and classified documents. So for example, this first story here, the race to fix the classification system. I will say, I went through this a little earlier, a terrifically researched story with plenty of resources, plenty of links throughout that will give you a sort of real update as to, well, how documents are made secret, how they're classified, how they're unclassified, and what some of the tensions within governments around the world are when it comes to these documents. So again, that website is just Secrecy News, run by and at the main website fas.org. Well, moving from the very professional to something that's perhaps just a little bit more stripped down, our next stop this week is a site called Cryptome. Now, it's the web address is just cryptome.org. I'd like to tell you who runs it. I don't really know for sure. I'd like to tell you where they're based. We don't really know for sure. So they're at least as shadowy an organization as WikiLeaks. And as you can see here, the layout is very basic. However, each of these links over here on the side will take you to a story that they've published. Let's see, fight governments, bank photos, etc., etc. I haven't actually taken a look at this. They can be well researched. They can also sometimes have the flavor of being just a little sort of done on the fly. That's not to say that it's not worthwhile, but just keep it in mind. And also keep in mind, if you go to Cryptome, that the people who run this website obviously have a major beef with the people who run the WikiLeaks website, and so there's a lot of sort of sniping back and forth between these two organizations. Still, an interesting spot to go for learning what some of people are talking about, and also some secrets that are broken online. Well, that leads us next to our last stop this week. It's a web address run by publication, an online publication, Wired Magazine. So the web address is wired.com, and they run a sort of blog type site as well called simply Danger Room. The great name, and pretty evocative of what they cover. Essentially, it's a national security site. Any number of journalists contribute to this, and you'll find any number of stories on any given day, so it's updated really pretty frequently. Again, terrifically researched, some of the material here, addressing more issues of national security, but of course national security and secrecy very often go hand in hand, and they've also made it a point to break or publish classified documents when it's relevant. Well, that is a look at just a few of the folk out there who are breaking some secrets online. No secret anymore. And it's no secret that we like hearing from you. You can drop us a line at any point. Our web address is simply the link at voanews.com. We hope you'll take time to do that, and we hope you'll be with us again real soon.